Good morning. Hope you are all well. All of us have multiple identities. I'm a husband. I'm a dad. I'm a grandpa. I'm a brother, nephew. When my grandparents were alive, I was a grandson. I'm a teacher. I'm a friend. Who am I? And really that question affects all of us at different stages of our lives. We move through different moments of trying to select what is my identity. Maybe sometimes we're so scared of being ourselves that we change our identity based on our friendship groups. We perhaps use language that is not really the words we want to use, but all our friends are using those words, so it must be normal to speak that way. Or maybe it's music. No, we don't really like that music, but if everyone's doing it, then I might as well come along as well and listen to the music, or at least pretend that I like that music too. And it's a question that I think only affects us as we grow up. When we're kids, we tend just to be whatever our parents tell us to be, and we do what they say and go where they want us to go, and we don't really have many choices about it. But as we grow up, and especially in high school years, it's when we can discover ourselves, discover who we want to be, begin to dream of our future selves and the type of person we want to be. In this week's Torah portion, it's that famous beginning of the story where Moshe is growing up in the palace of Egypt. Has he forgotten his humble beginnings? Does he know who he is? Does he remember his family? He goes out and he sees people. Who are these people? On one level, they're just the slaves because he's growing up as a prince of Egypt. But then his heart begins to stir within him and he looks around and sees the brutality and sees the violence and sees the pain, and something in him snaps.
Stop it. Stop! Stop it! Leave that man alone! Moses! Stop! Out of my way! Out of my way! Move!
No.
Who did this?
In that fateful moment, Moshe had to decide, am I an Egyptian? Do I side with those who are bullying with the brutal kingdom of Egypt? Or am I going to identify with the victims in the story? Am I going to side with those who are oppressed and eventually lead a people who will stand up at all times for those who are weak? That was his choice. In the Hebrew text, it says in the verse, Vayifen kol vakol, Moshe looked both ways. Alternatively, he looked inside of him. Vayar ki ein ish, and he saw that there was nobody there. His identity was so muddled and so confused, he couldn't see who he was. He couldn't identify that dominant force within him. Was he an Egyptian prince, or was he part of the Jewish slave community? Vayar ki ein ish, there was nobody there. Vayachat ha-Mitzri, he got rid of his Egyptian identity and he slew that Egyptian. He wiped it out of his consciousness and he became the leader of a nation that would eventually fight throughout the generations for rights for all people. So your challenge as you grow up, as you think about yourselves, who are you? Who am I? What do I want to be? What type of person do I want to become? We all have identities given to us. Explore your cultural identity, your ethnic identity, your religious identity. Explore that because it's ours. And each and every person listening to this has a backstory. No one created without a past. Link into that backstory. Own it. Be proud of it. And then go on a journey with that identity, adding bits as you go along. You never know. Really being solid in your identity will allow you eventually to see the world so much clearer and so differently from when you're a nobody. So be a somebody, my friend, and stand on the world stage and say, I am me. This is who I am. Who am I? I am. And finish that sentence for yourselves. Have a good day.